Imagine sitting down to a Roman feast. The air is thick with the aroma of honey, garlic, and fragrant herbs. Yet this isn't the Italian cuisine you know, far from it. Instead, you're about to taste roasted dormice, garum-infused bread, and perhaps a side of flamingo tongue. Welcome to Forgotten Tales, where we dive into the hidden chapters of history. Today, we'll explore the world of ancient Roman cuisine, a culinary tradition rich in exotic flavors, elaborate banquets, and mysterious ingredients, some of which we can barely imagine today. So what did the Romans really eat, and why has much of it been lost to time? Stay tuned as we uncover these ancient recipes, dissect their cultural meanings, and explore why the Romans dined in ways that would make even the most adventurous modern foodies pause. In ancient Rome, food was more than mere sustenance. It was a symbol of wealth, power, and even moral standing. The Roman Empire stretched across vast and diverse regions, from the deserts of North Africa to the chilly hills of Britannia, absorbing an array of flavors from each conquered land. Yet Roman food was unique, often favoring extravagance and exoticism over flavors as we know them today. For the Romans, a meal wasn't complete without a taste of the unusual. The more unusual, the better. Imagine reclining at a Roman table as servants bring in trays of rare delicacies. For the Romans, it wasn't unusual to serve dishes that would seem shocking to us today. Flamingo tongues, often served roasted or in a spicy sauce, were highly prized, not only for their taste but for the wealth they symbolized. Romans believed that serving such exotic foods showed not only their wealth but also their worldliness, as the ingredients came from far-flung regions of the empire. Dormice, small rodents stuffed with a mixture of pork, pine nuts, and honey, were another delicacy, served in special ceramic pots. It sounds strange, but these dishes represented opulence, served only to the most esteemed guests at the most lavish feasts. Then there was the prized liver of geese, fed on figs to create a tender and rich flavor, not unlike the concept of foie gras centuries later. This preparation process was elaborate and carefully controlled, but it was worth the effort for elite Romans looking to impress. To them, these dishes were statements of not only culinary creativity but social power. And at the heart of almost every meal was garum, a fermented fish sauce that added a salty, pungent kick to everything from meats to desserts. Made from layers of fish entrails left to ferment under the Mediterranean sun for weeks, garum's smell was intense, but its flavor became indispensable. So valued was this condiment that it was imported from all over the empire, often transported over long distances and sold at high prices. Garum factories dotted the coastlines of the empire, particularly in Spain and North Africa, where the climate allowed for quick fermentation. Archaeologists have even found evidence of garum jars in Pompeii, proving its ubiquity. Garum wasn't just a food, it was a cultural phenomenon, enjoyed across classes and deeply rooted in the identity of Roman cuisine. Dining was more than a culinary experience. It was a form of theater that showcased the power, wealth, and creativity of the host. Roman banquets could last for hours, with guests reclining on luxurious couches and entertained by musicians, dancers, or poets between each course. Imagine the atmosphere, laughter echoing around the room, the clink of goblets, and the rich aroma of meats and spices filling the air. Each course became progressively more elaborate. The host's goal was to amaze their guests, flaunt their wealth, and demonstrate their connections to regions across the empire. To a Roman aristocrat, a feast was an opportunity to express their social standing, as the quality and rarity of the food displayed their power and influence. These events were meticulously staged to inspire awe, with some hosts even employing surprise courses, where ingredients were hidden and revealed in dramatic fashion. In many banquets, whole animals were presented to guests, meticulously prepared to symbolize prosperity. Picture a roasted peacock, its colorful feathers reattached for a grand presentation, or a small pig served with its organs cooked separately, only to be reinserted before the serving. These elaborate presentations made meals not just about taste but about visual spectacle and social status. Hosts prided themselves on their ability to offer rare, exotic foods to entertain and impress their guests. In addition to showcasing rare dishes, the host would often introduce entertainment acts between courses. This wasn't just a meal, it was an immersive experience designed to amaze and delight guests. There would be dancers, musicians, and even poets reciting verses, all to create a memorable, multi-sensory experience. Today, much of Roman cuisine has vanished. Many ingredients the Romans adored no longer exist or have been altered by centuries of agricultural change. Other recipes were simply lost as the empire crumbled. However, thanks to archaeological discoveries, surviving fragments of cookbooks, and ancient accounts from historians, we've managed to piece together a few of these forgotten dishes. One such dish was globule, a dessert made from dough, deep-fried, dipped in honey, and sprinkled with poppy seeds. Imagine the satisfying crunch followed by the sweetness of honey, providing a rare glimpse into a simpler aspect of Roman cuisine. This dish, unlike many extravagant options, was more widely accessible, giving us a taste of the everyday sweets that may have brought a touch of joy to Romans across the empire. Then there's mortem, a type of herb and cheese spread, which is one of the few Roman recipes that has been fully preserved. Made from garlic, cheese, herbs, olive oil, and vinegar, mortem was prepared using a mortar and pestle and eaten with bread, often by farmers or soldiers. Unlike lavish banquets, mortem was a food of simplicity, offering us a look at the diet of common Romans. Another fascinating recipe is libum, a type of cheesecake offered to the gods in religious ceremonies. Made with fresh cheese, flour, and eggs, libum was simple but meaningful. This dessert gives us insight into the spiritual side of Roman cuisine, as food was not just for pleasure but a means of connecting with the divine. Take, for instance, the story of Apicius, one of the most famous Roman gourmands. He was renowned for his extravagant banquets and dishes. Legend has it that Apicius spent his entire fortune in pursuit of the perfect meals. By the time his funds dwindled to what we might call a comfortable fortune today, he was so devastated by the thought of giving up his lavish lifestyle that he ended his life. His legacy, however, remains alive in one of the earliest known cookbooks, providing us with rare insights into the ingredients and preparation methods of ancient Roman dishes. Apicius' recipes offer us a window into the elaborate techniques and complex flavors that defined Roman upper-class dining. His book, De Re Coquinaria, contains over 400 recipes, ranging from simple stews to elaborate roasts. These recipes provide a glimpse of Roman tastes, which prize strong flavors and heavy seasoning. Not all Romans dined on extravagant banquets, of course. The common Roman diet was based on simpler ingredients like grains, legumes, and vegetables. The bread was a staple, and many Romans relied on a simple porridge called pulse, made from boiled barley or wheat, which could be seasoned with herbs and salt. The typical Roman soldier's diet also centered on basic staples like bread and olive oil, supplemented by dried fruits and a bit of cheese. In contrast to the noble feasts, soldiers and peasants had diets focused more on survival and sustenance, though these foods provided the necessary energy and nutrients to support their demanding lifestyles. The Roman poor often relied on offal, or organ meats, since it was cheaper and more accessible than cuts of muscle meat. Dishes made from liver, hearts, and kidneys were common, showing how resourcefulness defined Roman cuisine across classes. And there you have it, a tantalizing glimpse into the culinary world of ancient Rome. Could you imagine yourself enjoying these ancient delicacies, or are there some dishes you'd pass on? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to check out our next episode, where we delve into food and survival in the Middle Ages. At that time, people faced famine and scarcity and relied on remarkable ingenuity to survive. Join us as we uncover the creative and often surprising ways medieval people found sustenance in a challenging world. And as always, if you enjoyed this journey through time, hit the like button, share this video with fellow history lovers, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode of Forgotten Tales. Until next time, remember, history is full of stories waiting to be uncovered, stories that blur the line between myth and reality.